But Alter Ego banning away the Herith though, we talked about this earlier, the Natan can be an option, but for DEWA, considering they have the first pick, is it going to be a default Fredrin? Are we going to see something a bit different? You know, the Minotaur was a contested pick for the longest time in the season. It is still available right now.
I think they might need Angela this game. I know that Angela is a very good flex pick also, and if they were really want to just go for team fights, maybe that's the reason they have actually taken out the Loyi, the Chip, and the Mathilda, but they end up going for the Minotaur, so a bit more prio on those neutral objectives. And Alter Ego might be the ones to just pick that up for themselves.
The Angela?
Yeah.
Definitely could work. It's also flex for Alter Ego. Kreitz used it in the mid lane. Rasi can also utilize the Angela. And if they want to take away a priority here away from DEWA, they can pick up something like the Natan, but no, absolutely not. They go for the Roger and the Barats, so still flex potential even in 2 of these heroes as well.
Barats though, against a Minotaur, of course, the Daytona's welcomes card control immunity can lend itself to great moments. Taz has a great retribution game, and I think is quite comfortable using it against Gary. So now for DEWA, knowing that it's going to be an all-out contest here, I think not just for DEWA, both teams must have the whole teamfight picture in mind right now. They know they're going to be collapsing all the way from the early game to try and get a victory or a snowball going from these neutral objective fights. Fredrin comes through for DEWA.
Along with the Vexana.
Wow.
All right, so they're really layering their crowd control here. Again, like you mentioned, neutral objective control. Alter Ego, one of their keys to victory was to figure out a way to make sure that their mid trio is prio in order for them to gain access to those side lanes as well as the neutral objective. So far, the Roger and the Barats. What do you think will be the next pick for Alter Ego?
I would say Ruby utilize the chance of the, what's it called? Flex potential of the Ruby, because they can actually play it in 3 different lanes. They can play it in Roam, they can play it in Gold, and they can also play it in XP. But it looks like they want to just go for Grok, so still, according to the keys to victory that we saw, they want to just fully control the neutral objectives. They already have the Barats, that's really, really good. Now instant CC as well with the Grok. But they still need a mage in the mid lane that can go up against this Vexana.
But let's take a look at a comment from a mid laner,
Hey.
right? Alter Ego's Udil back in the day, he says Alter Ego already has a star player, but they're still in the red zone. They have to improve a lot. Don't let my departure be meaningless.
Ooh.
Who's he? Who's the star player that he's referring to? Taz?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Taz certainly fits the bill for now. We'll have to see though, right, for Alter Ego. The fact that now they seem to be piling on the card control immunity. Of course, I can trade it back with a wild charge here. When it comes to the full-on zoning potential, I feel like DEWA has a lot more to say. And like you mentioned, with the mage not really seen just yet, there's still a few options available. Novaria comes to mind, and to a degree, I mean, the Lilia can work if they want to go for an all-out brawl. So we'll have to see. DEWA for now bans with the Angela, mitigating the healing potential. You have to wonder if Rasi wants to go for something a bit more aggressive, or has DEWA read him out and tried to ban away all his healing tools to try and play that sustained game.
Exactly. Do you think this Grok is going to the Roam
It's the
position?
proof that I'm still
Rossi
alive.
hasn't picked it up this season. And the fact that DEWA still want to go for a ban onto Angela, I understand that Angela's flex, but
I think it's a good flex pick. I think it's a good mid lane pick as well, especially when you have a very, very tanky, beefy lineup. But I will agree, it's strange to see Rossi on a pick like the Grok. I think the last time we saw him on the Grok was last season, actually, when he wild charged. That was not a good memory, definitely not for Rossi at least. It was a good memory for the broadcast because it was very entertaining. But Alter Ego actually banned out the Brody as well, taking a whole lot of power from the gold lane, basically forcing Watts on a hero that will be bullied in the gold lane. Carry, the Claude comes to mind.
And actually, Alter Ego
Bruno as well, maybe?
they can actually pick up one of these heroes first if they really feel like, let's say, the Claude is going to be a big issue right here. With the Valentina banned out though, I guess they're respecting the potential for a stolen Eternal Guard. But, ooh, Alter Ego, is it going to be another fighter?
Farsa? They're hovering on the Farsa.
are they going for it?
They are.
Oh,
First Farsa pick.
for Alter Ego? Oh man.
Right after Udil said that.
Exactly. Oh, the irony. Interesting. Like every time I look at a Farsa, I always associate it with Alter Ego.
Especially
Really?
Udil.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically Udil.
Specifically Udil. And now this is the debut, right?
Yep, the debut of Farsa in Season 13. And it is an Udil, though it is Alter Ego. Krite.
Krite has been a great high ground player with the Farsa, though.
Ooh.
Can he supplement the burst damage,
Well,
right?
actually, it's been picked once, actually. I think Sans played it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like right now for Alter Ego, they have a lot more ways to go for pickoffs, actually, instead of a full-on team fight.
Yeah.
DEWA now with 2 more picks. Are they going to expose, or is it going to be a full-on team fight with the Lapu Lapu coming in, zoning with the backline, and the Claw does come through. Here's the question, though, for Alter Ego. Have they pulled the biggest bluff? Is it going to be a Roger in the gold lane? Is it going to be Roger in the jungle?
I still, aside from that bluff, like the Farsa in so early just feels a little iffy for me because Farsa is still very vulnerable, right? There's still even a possibility for DEWA United to pick up something like the Yuzong. The Lapu Lapu serves the same purpose. It can dive to the back line, deal damage, cancel the ultimate, and then the value of the Farsa gets taken away, especially now they have a dive hero like a Claude that can definitely also cancel the Feather Airstrike coming in from the Farsa. I just personally disagree with the choice, but they go for that bluff. Like you mentioned, Arashi, Ling in last pick, Roger to the gold lane.
I gotta say, this looks kind of dangerous, though, for Alter Ego.
Yeah.
Like, even with, against a Minotaur, a Fredrin, a Vexana, there's just so much crowd control available for Alter Ego. And this means that the composition now, instead of going for a full-on, just a clash in the front, front to back, a 5v5 dive, they're the ones who have to try and maneuver around, go for some kind of split push play, go for some kind of pick-off before the fight even begins. Now this means that DEWA can just play the straightforward textbook game and just go for the neutral objectives and adjust depending on how Alter Ego wants to respond to it.
It's very, very scary. But hey, it's Taz on the Ling, and they've already cleared a counter matchup. The Mirage was taken for Pi in the XP, denying it away from DEWA to enable that Ling on Sir Taz.
Let's see if it can work. Ladies and gentlemen, a very risky draft from Alter Ego. But in certain situations, dire measures are required. And with that, let's welcome you to game number 1 into the Land of Dawn. Between the gods as well as the 3-face masks, with all the things lined up, everything at risk for DEWA. Let's see these 2 junglers go for it. Taz on the Ling is going to be able to take that purple buff first.
Nino and Watt both with the Purify, though, and Taz with the Weakness Finder. They're trying to be a bit more aggressive here, maybe trying to go for some early pickoffs when these heroes outside of DEWA are not grouped together. That has to be in the early game, though. But Gary, knowing that he wants to be aggressive, he wants to shut down that assassin, he goes for the Concussive Blast as well. So he's prioritizing the clear speed on top of the fighting potential. Maybe that's where Pi can try and take an advantage in the difference of frontlining for his team.
All right. In terms of emblems, does anything stand out here, Arashi, before we get into the game?
And looks like GamesMax shows 3 tenacities for the side of DEWA United, so they definitely want to be scrapping all the way from the early game. For the side of Alter Ego, though, it looks pretty standard so far, except for Pi with the agility and tenacity. He's just trying to be active around the map as much as possible. This is not the kind of hero we're used to seeing Pi use. We usually want something a bit more active in these fights.
Yeah, playmaking. We usually see him on Lapu Lapu, Yuzong to Rizla, maybe, but let's see how he does on the Barats. It's definitely going to be an interesting thing to see. So far, despite Alter Ego picking up something like the Ling, I would have thought that DEWA would want to go a little bit more aggressive. Are they waiting for that level 4 before they try and harass this Ling, or are they just going to try and shut him down away from the objectives?
So they're waiting to just go and play the objective game instead of going for these invades. There is Rossi that's just being a massive nuisance right here. In fact, Alter Ego are the ones going for it first.
2-level lead for Taz, and he will secure it just with a retreat. Right, gets caught in the Eternal Guard, but will be able to walk away. Even Rossi is ahead of Gary here. So many invades in the early game, and Rossi, so using the power of nature, trying to bait out that Retribution, it seems. But I don't think Gary will save that Retri. He'll just use it to secure his purple buff.
All right, first turtle goes to Alter Ego against at least my expectations. That is that early game pressure, that aggression coming in from Alter Ego, from every single member right here. And need to keep in mind the fact that Trite has the lethal ignition against Keys on the Impure Rage. Going to be a difference in burst potential. What? Already chunked down.
Rossi took it. He took the orange buff, and Taz took the little creep.
Wow, they're just piling on everything. Seems like despite of having an assassin, they're the ones that are just trying to pressure Gary. And the team is just not really responding in time here. He's always kind of left alone somewhat until his team can really rotate to try and back him up.
It seems now they're trying to commit onto Rossi, but talent prediction here, presented by Samsung Galaxy S24 series. We have 3-3, but it seems me. Oh, whoa! They're looking for a bit more of a fight here. Fraser's Wrath as well. But me, KB, and Ranger Amas are all 2-0 for AD.
We believe in the three-face masked spirit. And so far, it's working well for them, right? A 2K gold lead in the first few minutes of the game. This is definitely not the outcome that we predicted from the drafts. They've been playing it really well. The fact that they've been able to utilize the Farsa as well, high mobility hero, been able to pressure those side lanes as well. Good distraction, good damage.
Oh! While charging to the back, Hayes just gets obliterated. Even Gary's next. Taz, some of the Blazers dodge away from the Blazers' Wrath and now goes in with a combo, finding Gary. Now it's Dixon with the all-in, able to find Taz, the bravest fighter. Is Gripe goes in wings by wings. Dixon with a flicker forward, almost finding a kill on Gripe. Meanwhile, the Barat's Pie just munching down on that Minotaur as he walks back towards his lane. Still 1,800 gold lead for A.
That was still also a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Alter Ego.
A?
For
Alter
A.
Ego. A.
For A.
What's really surprising though is the fact that Taz, I think in that fight, was level 8. Gary was level 4, by the way. So he is severely under-leveled. Unfortunately for him right now, he'll be able to secure his purple buff. But Alter Ego, they're doing a great job just letting this Ling have all the space in the world. He's farming without any interruptions at all, despite the composition's not really supposed to go this way. So this is going to be a very brutal mid-game for DEWA to withstand from Alter Ego.
But if they can, there is still a possibility for them to find an opening of mistakes from Alter Ego, right? That's kind of their pattern so far. They're leading, they snowball, but they make a few mistakes, things turn around, but Alter Ego still press the issue. They just need to be able to withstand this early pressure as Taz is going to be able to get onto Dixon.
I don't think you want to be taking this, Dixon. He backs off, but he gets pulled back into the Death to his welcome. Time of the Blades used up. That's a double CC combo from the Death to his welcome to the wall to the Tempest of Blades. See ya, Dixon.
Dixon just overstepping his limits there. Just teasing Alter Ego a bit too far. Just moving a bit forward, trying to threaten, you know, show some aggression back, but it's just a bit too dangerous. And for the side of DEWA, they want to go for Rossi here.
I don't think that's going to be a good person to target down. He has a power of nature, gets out. And Taz is just munching on those minions and the turret up top.
The distraction game is quite great right now. Oh my god, no way. Okay.
The flicker in 3? No, okay.
He doesn't go for it. He doesn't go for it. I would have thought that he wanted to go for the aggression, but no. Gary still gets out alive, but is going to force a recall, and that will, again, slow down his farming pattern. He's already so many levels behind of Taz at the moment. What is that, 4 levels? Have we seen that before? 4 levels?
I believe it was Super Ken up against Taz on the Ling. Barats versus Ling, if you remember. That's the power of not having a Barats in the jungle up against the Ling.
This is a whole different game altogether now. Level 12, Taz.
Ooh.
And looking at the items, Berserker's Fury, so in a prolonged fight, even without skills available, those basic attacks are gonna hurt a lot here. And this is only almost 7 minutes. He's already reaching double digits in levels. That's crazy.
With the Watt chunked down. But the airstrike as well. Watt with the Battle Mirror image into the Wild Charge, but he has to Purify the Eternal Guard just to peel. They've utilized their resources just to get Watt out of that spot. Taz, Claws.
There's just a lot more sustain if he wants to stay in the fight. So not only as an assassin, he can function more as a fighter, depending on how far ahead he goes against DEWA right now. He can just save the Tempest of Blades to use it for utility, to dodge from the very obvious crowd control tools that DEWA have, the Eternal Guard, the Bravest Fighter, and the Minuan Fury. So just like that, all the crowd control threats
what?
have been neutralized, and what? Disappears.
That's a solo kill onto Watt. Absolutely disgusting now from Alter Ego. Dominance. How does Watt even try and look for his power spike if when he goes in for that, Taz punishes him left and right?
Everybody's getting punished by Taz at this point. Even Gary.
Oh, no.
When he's not doing anything, when he's going for the turtle, his purple gets taken away. He's already so far behind. He's, holy, level 14 to level 8, and he's on the turtle. Taz is going to out-retry him. He's just going to fly by and take it away. Gary, he's still trying to take it away, but you cannot out-retry a man who is level 14. He gets chomped up as well. He still decides to go in, and he will pay the price. With a feather airstrike, Taz in the back. Now with a wild charge from Rossi. Cutting the angles, Triad might be forced to use the Minion Fury, but he will just save it. Taz taking the blades and running away. My goodness, an absolute stop of a game. 6-level lead earlier for Taz.
And you start to wonder and you start to think, why did he go for that decision to commit onto the turtle? There was absolutely no commitment from all the rest of the members. And with the mobility and the flexibility of Taz on the Ling, that entire effort was completely worthless. Was he buying time for Watt? I guess Watt has the golden staff, but at this point, is it too late?
Yes.
It's just so far behind. I mean, this is a 15-minute Ling at 9 minutes. This is a situation you would expect to see in like a ranked game. Right? You don't expect such one-sided domination from just the jungle, let alone the rest of the team right now. They're just walking around. And that Ling in particular is just so immune. He can do whatever he wants. 1v1 against the EXP laner. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, the Bravest Fighter has damage reduction? What? Nah. He does true damage, brother. The Endless Battle. Does he even have it yet? Yeah, I think he bought Malefic earlier.
Yes, he has a Malefic, but he didn't go for Endless Battle. He went straight for Malefic after the Has Claws.
Looks like he's going for a Hunter Strike too right now. Fury Hammer and the Legion Sword. Yikes.
8,000 gold lead. So many levels ahead of DEWA. Where did this all go wrong?
I feel like they were maybe distracted by Rossi a bit too long. The early game, we were all thinking like, okay, Fredrin, Vexana, Minotaur, they're going to be invading. They're going to be going for big skirmishes where the Ling just doesn't have any space to really maneuver. But again, if you think about it, all these crowd control tools are very easily outplayed, especially in the hands of someone like Taz. Now Keys gets chunked almost immediately to 0. And that Alter Ego, they have the siege potential, they have the high ground as well. They're not really at any rush to really end this.
An attempt from Gary, but oh man, you're still 5
die.
levels down. Gary, how do you escape from this one? Taz is just gonna be taunting him. Look at him. Ooh. He dodges away from the Appraiser's Wrath, uses his Fine Blade, and just recalls on his corpse.
This is brutal to watch. I guess he tried.
There was an
I
attempt.
guess he tried.
Oh, it's a BOD.
Yeah, he doesn't even care about
Straight up.
utility, dude.
Full
He just-
damage.
He wants that one-shot threat, especially against the backline right here. We'll see if he even makes a move. The Lord itself, DEWA United are trying to find it, trying to clear, but it's just too tanky.
Nom Nom and the flicker back. Say goodbye to Dixon. The magic trick from Alter Ego. And now in the bottom lane, it will take another base turret with the First Lord. Oh! J1 almost gets shredded down to nothing with just a Defiant Blade. And a few shots, Gary has to pull back. And this might be an angle, ladies and gentlemen. 13,000 goal lead in 11 minutes. Alter Ego are beating the clock. Eternal Guard on the Nino now with a 3-man wild charge from Rossi as well. Gary brought back, but still is able to dash out. Alter Ego have another mini wave up top as Dixon respawns back in this game. A good splash from the base turret, and Alter Ego disengaged. Gary going in on the combo as well with Miz Fury. Right, gonna be fouled. Taz jumping into the midst of it all with attempts to blaze. Whoa, a big bonk right into the gun down from Watts. Alter Ego, they gotta pull back now. Nino still trying to kite away, and they will be able to disengage. But some miscalculations definitely there from Alter Ego.
That was the miracle that DEWA were looking for. Krite and Taz taken off the board. Overconfidence, perhaps, from the side of Alter Ego. These are things that should not have happened. How were they able to get 2 people there?
They were just moving backwards, but then they left Cry just a bit vulnerable in the front, and DEWA United, they know how to capitalize. Look at it, Data's welcome though.
Oh, into the wall. Oh, up to the barrier. Right as he goes to the wall, Tornino! Into the back with Lycan pounce as well. Now running back as Gary finds the top, but he's able to dash out. Very well played. An Eternal Guard not connecting an Alter Ego. Played safe again. It's a feathered airstrike, but just used to shoo DEWA away from this mid lane.
That was a fancy combo. Daytona's welcome into the barrier out of nowhere. Let's take a look at the items though. It was a great Dragon Spear completed for Nino on the Roger. So he has the movement speed, presumably to really keep up with the rest of the team going in. Cry going for the Genius Wand. If you look at the, man, that's a 6,000 gold advantage by the way. But again, if you look at the rest of the members, it all amounts to about 2k gold lead. So it's an 8k gold lead for Alter Ego, but the vast majority of that is in the hands of Taz. And soon he'll be at full items. Soon that gold difference won't really make that big of a difference. So with that sequence of events, DEWA have bought a bit more time. Alter Ego, now I think they're gonna be a bit more respectful to the potential for DEWA to really win out in a team fight. Because you can see, if they can really zone Taz out and get their hands on the back line, there is still damage tradable by DEWA to throw back at Alter Ego.
For sure, there's Kaze. Uh-oh, Gary. No way.
No, he's good. If he died there, that would have been crazy.
He's lucky that that Krite got the Holy Crystal before, after that engage, right? Because I think that would have been a little bit of a different story for Gary.
He's also lucky Nino didn't go for Thunderbelt because the slow, I think, would have gotten to him, and then Alter Ego maybe would have actually executed him.
But either way, the Lord is still going to fall into the hands of Alter Ego. An enhanced one at that, so it is going to be marching in that mid lane towards DEWA. Can they defend this push? We have a game fact by GoPay here. Taz succeeded in beating Kyrie's record in objective farming, achieving level 15, the fastest at the 8th minute, with Kyrie at the 9th. So, even until this point, even until week number 8, we have records being beaten.
Yeah, what? Almost just died through that. Appraiser's draft used preemptively. Oh my god, that was welcome to the wild charge into Drian. Moving forward, very still able to survive. Dixon taking a whole lot of damage. Now as Nino goes in for Lycan pounce. Now the Eternal Guard, but he dodges away from it. Nino with a Purify. Well played. In the back though, they'll just target the base down. Even with Taz taken out, it's not enough for DEWA to mount a comeback. Alter Ego 1-0.
That was so brutal for DEWA United.